I'm Zisteau, and welcome back to another video in my tutorial series on the hardest difficulty in the sandbox mode of the Long Dark Interloper. Last video we covered forging and making a bow and arrow. This video we're going to cover the other major thing you tend to do with a new character, and that is getting to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. When you start a new character on Interloper, you're leveling skills and accumulating items. Some of your items you need to craft, and some of the items you cannot craft, they have to be found. The items you craft are mostly made with the improvised knife, which you make at the forge. There are currently 3 forges in the game. There's one in Forlorn Muskeg, one in Desolation Point, and one in Broken Railroad. The items you can't craft that you have to find, obviously, are scattered all over the world, but there is one place in the game with the highest density of good stuff, and that is the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. Some players have a preference of forging first and then going to the summit second, or vice versa, or you may decide to be flexible based on where you spawn into the world. So for instance, if you spawn into Hushed River Valley and you find a heavy hammer right away, you might go directly to the forge in Forlorn Muskeg, and then after that make your way to the summit. Or maybe you spawn in Pleasant Valley and you find what you need to get to the summit right away, and so you decide to go there directly and then afterwards to a forge, let's say in Desolation Point. For this video, this is the scenario we're going to be talking about. Getting to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain with the minimal amount of items as soon as possible, as close as possible. And of course, a lot of the information in this video will still apply if your character starts farther away or if you forge first. I'm just trying to do it with the least amount of things possible, with the least amount of skills possible. So if you have more stuff, it should be, at a minimum, easier. So this is a map of Pleasant Valley I made in-game on one of my Interloper characters using charcoal and the map making skill. It's not fully mapped in, so the overall shape of the zone is actually more like this. The rope to get into Timberwolf Mountain is up here, and before you climb that rope, you're going to need 3 things. You need matches, you need a hacksaw, and you need a bedroll. Matches can be found in the basement of the farmhouse. This is a guaranteed spawn for any Interloper character. For the hacksaw, you have a chance of finding it also in the basement of the farmhouse. You have a chance to find it in the barn, and you have a chance to find it in the Cinder Hills coal mine. For the bedroll, there's a chance to find it in the cave to the south of Thompson's Crossing. There's also a chance to find it in the cave at the Mystic Falls picnic area. If you don't find a bedroll at either of these locations, your next best option is to backtrack through the transition cave that leads to the Winding River. And in the Winding River, by where you find the rabbits, there's a little cave that can have a bedroll. If you get really unlucky and you don't find a bedroll there, your next best option is to go all the way into Mystery Lake to the camp office. I should also note, also of value in Pleasant Valley, there's an emergency stim in the barn, and at Signal Hill you can find coffee, and you have a chance at finding the ever-valuable, super elusive combat pants. And in addition, I'll also show the routes I tend to take going through the zone if I want to get to Timberwolf Mountain. If I'm coming from Mystery Lake, I tend to take this route, and I'll show that step by step in-game so you have landmarks to follow. So after emerging from the transition cave that leads from the Winding River, you want to walk up the hill and past the hunting blind. There's a cave there and a field of trees. You want to walk through the trees to Signal Hill. Then you want to mountain goat your way down the hill to make your way to the farmhouse. After the farmhouse, follow the frozen stream until you get to the burned down cabin. And then walk uphill along the path until you get to the Burned Ridge Cave and the passenger plane crash. Walk over the hill behind the plane crash, and then follow the edge of the zone past the hunting blind until you get to the Prepper's Cache and the rope to Timberwolf Mountain. If I'm coming from the coastal highways side of the world, I tend to take this route through the zone, and in-game it looks like this. After emerging from Cinder Hills coal mine, walk down the hill until you get to the main road. Along the main road, you'll pass the derelict cabins, which is a good place to make a fire. Continue on the road, walking uphill until you get to the wooden bridge, where you'll want to walk down and follow the frozen stream, back to the waterfall and the picnic area. Once you're there, continue hugging the edge of the zone, and if you're worried about wolves, you can walk up the side of the hill and climb over the rocks until you get to the Prepper's Cache and the rope to Timberwolf Mountain. So this is another map I made in-game. This is Timberwolf Mountain, and fully mapped, the shape of the zone looks something like this. After climbing the rope to get into the zone, you'll be here, and your overall goal is to access all the different cargo containers scattered around the zone from the plane crash. There's one here by the wing, there's one down in Echo Ravine by the engine, there's one up by the deer clearing, and there's 4 at the summit. Also at the summit are matches, a fire striker, the flare gun, and an emergency stim. And I should also mention that at the cabin on the lake, there's a guaranteed spawn of a box of matches. And you also have a 25% chance to find an additional hacksaw either at the cabin or the summit. So after I climb into Timberwolf Mountain for the first time on a new character and I want to get to the summit, this is the route I usually take. I walk past the landing gear to get to the cabin on the lake, and then I walk downhill to the wing section to pick up the first cargo container. Afterwards, I cross the tree bridge and sleep in the first cave to get my energy back. The next day, I climb the second rope and pick up the second container by the deer clearing. After that, I walk around and up the hill to get to the third rope, which takes you to the secluded shelf. Immediately visible is a cave, which goes through the mountain and pops out the other side. I sleep in the cave to get my energy back again because the next rope is very tall. When I'm ready and my energy bar is full, I walk around the corner to the rope, climb it, and I'm at the summit. So you may have noticed that we've skipped a cargo container, and that's because it's located here at the lowest point of the region. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this one last. When I'm done on the summit, I mountain goat down the mountain to another cave, which also goes through the mountain and pops out right by that cargo container. Once I'm inside the cave, I tend to drop a bunch of heavy stuff I'm carrying that I don't need at the moment. I walk through the cave to the other side, I get the last cargo container, I retrace my steps through the cave, pick up the stuff I left, and then I walk downhill to the cabin on Crystal Lake. So once again, I'll show you what these places look like in-game so you have landmarks to follow. Once you get into the zone, walk until you get to the landing gear, then turn a little bit to the right and walk straight until you get to the cabin on Crystal Lake. From here you can see the plane crash at the summit up above. What you want to do is walk to the right along the lake and past it until it trends downhill and you get to the wing section and the first cargo container. After that, walk through the gap between the wing and the cargo container until you cross the tree bridge, and on your right you will find a cave you can sleep in. Beyond that is the first rope you'll need to climb, and once you get to the top you'll see a large boulder in your way, and you want to walk along the left side of it and past it to get to the next cargo container. If you need a cave, there's one off to the right in the deer clearing. Then walk past the cargo container, through the pass, in the mountains until you get to the fallen tree, and once you're there you can turn left to walk up the hill. Once you get to the top of this little hill, you want to curve around to the right until you see the next rope. At the top of this rope is the secluded shelf and the cave that will take you through the mountain. You'll want to sleep in this cave to get your energy back. When you're ready, exit the cave, walk along the ledge to your right, and climb the last rope. And hey, congratulations, you made it to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. On the left will be a cave, and straight ahead will be the tail section of the plane crash with all the stuff we talked about earlier. From the tail section, when the weather is clear, you should be able to see Crystal Lake and the cabin down below. And when you're ready, you'll be mountain goating your way down the mountain, diagonally down and to the right, looking for the second engine section. Beyond that engine, on the right, will be the cave, which will lead you down to Echo Ravine and the last cargo container. Once you've got the last cargo container, you retraced your steps, you picked up your stuff, all you have left to do is to walk downhill to the lake and the cabin, and you're done. So, since that was probably a lot of information to digest, what I'll do now is I'll include a full run I recorded of me making a new character and getting to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. But in order to keep this video from being 4 hours long, I'm just going to give you a few highlights up to the point where I'm ready to climb into Timberwolf Mountain. For this character, I spawned close by to the farmhouse where I found the mag lens in the basement. Made my way to Signal Hill where I found coffee but no combat pants. I went to Cinder Hills coal mine where I picked up coal and the hacksaw, and then I went to the Mystic Falls picnic area where I got the bedroll. There you go. There's your highlights. So after a few days of scavenging around, I've accumulated all the stuff we'll need to go to Timberwolf Mountain. I'm in the abandoned prepper's cache just below the rope that'll take us there, and I just woke up, so we've got enough energy to make it up the rope. I've dropped some stuff here on the table that we're not going to take with us because it's redundant, or we don't need it for this part of our journey. And here's all the stuff I've accumulated over my few days of game time so far. Got some coal, which will be very useful for generating heat quickly. Got some matches for making the fire, a book for starting fire, and a skill book for reading when we have downtime, we get stuck in a cave in a blizzard or something like that. Then I've got one stim, got some bandages, we've got old man's beard dressing in case we get attacked. And then I got a variety of tea stuff I've chopped and or prepared. Also painkillers and water tablets I happen to find. And then a little bit of clothing. I've been pretty unlucky with clothing. No boots, no combat pants, no jackets yet. But we should be able to find better stuff by going into Timberwolf Mountain. That's kind of the point. Then I've got quite a bit of scavenged food here. A few coffees, which will help with climbing ropes. One soda, a little bit of water. And then the very important required bedroll and hacksaw, and then pot and a can, some stones, some torches, a variety of things that will be useful, and then some cloth for repairing our clothing. And just a side note, your hacksaw, when you find it, will have a random amount of durability, and you're going to lose 5% every time you saw open a container in Timberwolf Mountain. And so if you're worried that the durability on your hacksaw is a bit low, you can repair it by using either simple tools or quality tools and a piece of scrap metal. And we hit the J key, we go into the journal screen. You can see we're on day 4. You can see where I've been. Just basically did a circle around Pleasant Valley, found all the stuff we needed, went to the coal mine, and then made a beeline for the prepper's cache where we are right now. All my skills level 1. This is collectible stuff, not important. Not important. And I made a brief note as well that I left quality tools, which is very useful for making arrows later in the game. Left that at the farmhouse with a few other things. And I made a side note that I dropped extra stuff here, which we will sort through when we get back. And we've done 2 total days of game time. How's that work? We're on day 4. Well, it's because we started partway through the day. We're not all the way through this day. Let's get going. Here we go. Okay, sunny day. That's good. If that holds out, we can make a fire. We need to be underneath our carry capacity. We can get going. I have already also, I dropped some firewood right there. We're not going to need that. I've got enough coal, and we'll find plenty of sticks along the way. And here we go. There is a ledge here, which we could stop and rest at, but we are not going to need it for this rope. Anytime you're going to be climbing a rope, it is a really good idea to try to sleep in the location closest to it, which is what I did, so that we can have plenty of energy to get up the rope. And it's going to lead us into Timberwolf Mountain. And I think just to make sure the video doesn't get too long, anytime I'm walking in basically a straight direction, I think we'll speed up the footage. So, super speed! So now we're at the landing gear. We're going to turn right a little bit and just walk straight in this direction, trying to avoid the moose if he's around. And here we are at the mountaineering hut. I don't intend to stay here very long, but I am cold, and I need a little bit of water. So we're going to make a fire since it's sunny. I'm gonna, let's see, am I even warm enough? Oh, there's a jacket here. Okay, that's very nice. Finally a jacket. Does it make it? It makes it warm enough so we're no longer freezing. Lovely. There's always matches here, by the way. That's a guaranteed spawn on any game mode. Let's go ahead and start a fire. Can't start fires indoors. I guess I have to sit outside for a minute. Use the mag lens. Don't want to use that as my... Oh, I have accelerant? I don't want to use that, though. Alright. So we're going to make a little bit of water and heat up some teas while we loot through the cabin and warm up and stuff, and I might grab some cattails and go check the fishing hut. And then we're going to be on our way. I would like to get to the next rope before we go to sleep so we can climb it with full energy. The next 2 ropes are short ropes. They're separated by a little bit of a distance, so it's a little tricky to try to climb both of them in one day, and I would like to be as close as possible to the first rope. When we go to sleep, there's a cave there I would like to get to, and in between here and there is a cargo container. All right, let's go inside now. We don't need that. Collectible note, don't need the newspaper. We don't need more than 1 skill book while we're climbing. So I'll just leave that there. Don't need that newspaper. And since I have all the coal, we don't really need all that firewood either. Check under the beds. Try to stay close to the fire for the warmth. And looks like I saw something behind that crate. You can get up on these beds if you walk around the back. Can of soda. Alright, that'll be useful. That's water. And what's that there? There's a heavy hammer. Okay. I already have one. I'm carrying it around for wolf defense. If you wanted to, you could leave it here, but I prefer to have it for the wolf defense, even though it is fairly heavy. So we currently weigh 65. We will have to climb some more ropes, so we need to keep an eye on our overall weight. First thing to go usually is sticks and water when we have to climb something. And my condition has gotten a little bit low. I have been starving myself during the day. I think what we'll do is eat some food for the next day or so. We're going to find a lot of food in these cargo containers anyway. Probably more than we'll even be able to carry down from the mountain, so may as well eat something. Don't want to eat the crackers, though. They're really valuable because they never go bad. And they're the most calorically dense in terms of weight food item in the game. Alright, I would like to repair that. That's going to take an hour. Maybe we'll get a chance sooner or later. I don't need 2 bottles of pain pills. Tiny weight save. We're about halfway warm. What else can we drop? We could leave some of this food behind. The canned food is quite heavy, and we are going to find food as we go, and I've got cattails. So I think I'll leave this canned food here. Just to drop a little bit of weight. We're down to 63. Yeah, alright, that's probably fine. Okay, that's almost boiled. I think when we leave here, there's a wolf over there. I'm just gonna leave. So I'm not gonna head away from the fire. We'll drop some of these. These burn now, they didn't used to. So you have to keep an eye on them. 8 minutes until it's ready. Let me take that off. I want to be out of here faster. Alright, so we've got 37 minutes. Okay, so I'll actually take these out of range of the fire so they don't burn. That's boiled dry. I'll make a few more. Don't want to make too many teas at once, though, because water is really heavy, and it'll make it harder to get up ropes. But we'll make 1 or 2 while this is going. And we could speed time, or I can see if I've got anything else I can do. I've got enough bandages. And we already looked through all of this. I could break these down, but we don't really need to. Sewing kit. I didn't notice that first time. Just leave that there. Yeah, I guess we're just going to head out of here as soon as this water is done. Alright, let's make 1 more tea. Then we'll heat up what we got, and we'll be on our way. 13 minutes. Give me that. 7 minutes still boiled. Okay, that'll work. 8 minutes still ready. 6 minutes still boiled. Lovely. Those are almost done. Start taking some torches. I want to chain these torches together. Even though it's sunny, I can make another fire. It'll still be useful if wolf gets in our way. That's kind of not a very good torch. It's a better one. Alright. 26 minutes till burn. Alright, let's get out of here. And we don't really need any more sticks because I've got all the coal. If I didn't have all that coal on me, I would want to pick up a lot more sticks to make up for the warmth. There's wolves right over there, but I do want to check this fishing hut. Then we'll try to give them a wide berth. A cotton hat. Don't need it. I'm just going to leave it there because it's extra weight I don't want to carry. I guess we'll just be back here at some point. I can check that then. Oh. Storm lantern. Okay, that'll actually be useful. If you really wanted to travel light, you could drop a lot of the stuff I'm carrying. Like, you could drop the hammer, and you could drop the lantern. It just makes things a little bit less flexible, depending on what the weather does. It's not always going to be sunny. Let me see how many tinder I have. Got 9? Okay, that's enough. I'm going to start dropping the tinder on the ground. I'm still pretty warm. It's not super cold, so I'm not going to make an additional fire. I do want to continue chaining the torches to my final location. So what I will do is light that one, and then open our first cargo container. Oh, it's like Christmas. These usually have food, pinnacle peaches, and baked beans. I forget what this one has. But they are predictable, if you remember what each one has. Ah, coffee. Nice. Okay. Here we go. One container down. So now we walk this way, and we're going to cross a tree bridge, and then we'll see some rabbits, and then on our right will be a cave where we'll sleep the night. Well, I almost made it into the cave with my torch lit, tried to hug the wall, but in the end, got extinguished, so we'll have to use a match. Which is not that big a deal, but it's useful to try to preserve everything you can. We're going to go ahead and put our bedroll. That's a pot. This is a bedroll. We're going to put this down, make a fire, and do a few things and go to sleep. There were some rabbits there and a deer carcass, which I could have made use of. But since I've got a lot of food already, I decided not to spend the time, and it was late in the day, and I was tired. We just made a beeline for the cave. Now we're going to start a fire. I'll probably make water while the fire is going, and we might try to repair my sweater. Okay, unsuccessful. Wait, that said 60%. Why does it say 60%? That should be higher. Oh, because I don't have a book. I do have a book. Why am I not using a book? I already used it. Ran out of books, I guess. I'm going to have to check in a second. It should default to the book if you have one. Okay. Get some warmth with a few of these. Toss that on there. And a bunch of sticks. I might be able to get by with sleeping in the cave overnight with no fire. But my clothing is not very good. So I don't think it's worth risking it, so we're going to keep a fire going all night. Let's go ahead and put that on. And that's going to take 2 hours. We are technically outside, so the duration of this fire is going to be longer than it seems. Let me just look through my stuff. Oh yeah, I picked up some saplings along the way, so let's go ahead and drop them on the ground so they can start curing. Try not to forget them when we wake up. Alright, what else we got? We found a lantern. Refill that. Okay. Our hacksaw is down to 71. If we don't find another one by the top, we're going to have to keep an eye out for some tools to repair it. And I'm dropping this by the fire so it automatically opens because it's going to try to cook it. I think we'll eat that, and we'll go ahead and eat these peaches too. And we can warm these up just by setting them by the fire. I guess they probably burn now too, like the teas. They didn't used to. That is a recent change, which is not very popular. Okay. Yeah. Alright, we'll just keep an eye on that, because I want to repair my clothing. I want to repair that. It's going to take 1 hour to try. 70% chance of success. That's not very good, but what you going to do? I have a low-level skill. 9 minutes. I guess we'll wait for those to be done. Let's see, do I need to make any more teas? I don't want to because we're about to climb a rope. I do. We could prepare this birch bark into teas. Could do that. 28 minutes until burn. Alright, let's go and eat that. That's almost done. We can put the extra can I don't want there. Then we can prepare this extra birch bark into another tea, or the materials for a tea. There we go. Alright, that's got 2 minutes. Alright, not bad. And then we'll have an hour to try to repair our sweater. Alright. Other can goes there. Okay, so this is going to take an hour to repair. That says 3:17. Okay, first try. Awesome. Now it says 2:16. Oh, we're not getting an increase. Alright. Well, I have enough coal that that's alright. I guess we're not far enough forward in the cave. But I'd rather be back here than in the cold part in case the fire goes out. While I'm sleeping, that's got 12 minutes. Pass time. Pick up the pot. And just to be in the safe zone, I'm going to probably drop these sticks before climbing the rope anyway, so I'm going to dump those in first. Take a look at our torches. Yeah, we're over 66 pounds still, so we'll probably drop water too. Turn that into a stick. And then we're going to sleep 10 hours. Alright. There we go. 11 hours. And this is the last fire we'll need until we get to the summit. At least the last long duration fire, so that should be alright. Drink water. And go to bed. 10. Sleep. Okay. So I'm not quite fully rested. We've got 2.5. It did extend. It did extend, because it should only have like 1 hour left. Now it's got 2.5. It's just not extending very much, because my fire starting skill is very low, so I'm not very good at it. I do want to sleep a little bit more. So I will eat... this is heavy, so let's... I don't want to cook it. Let's just eat it. Takes too long to cook it. Okay. So, put the can there. Make sure I still have a pot and a can left over after all of that. And then sleep for 2 hours. Get nice and full of energy. Alright, perfection. Okay, so last thing, heat up a few teas and then we're leaving, regardless of what the weather says. Pick up our saplings. Pick up our bedroll. Check our weight. We are underweight. Okay, that's good. We have 87. That's a lot of water. I think I'll leave like a bottle here for future me, I guess. 4 minutes till ready. 10 minutes till ready. I've already got 4 torches. We can leave extra torches here, I guess. While I wait for the tea to get ready. Alright. 6 minutes. Actually, light that up. Alright, here we go. It does sound windy, it might get blown out, but it doesn't hurt. It gives a small amount of warmth to us. Okay, from here, we are walking straight until the first rope. And here we go, rope number 2. So we're starting with basically a full eyeball bar, and it's going to get diminished by not quite 20% or so. But that can be a little bit deceiving when you're climbing ropes because that sort of accelerates. The more tired you are, the slower you climb a rope. So the more exhausted you get climbing a rope, the more tired you get. And you get to a point where if you have less than half of your energy bar, your eyeball, whatever, and you try to climb a rope, it's just basically impossible because you just slow down too much. And then you can't make progress, you keep getting more tired. And then you either fall or you climb back down very perilously, I guess. Okay, let's see. Teas. 6 plus 4. I got 10. Oh, plus those 2 birch, 12. All right, we're going to not harvest the mushrooms. We have to climb another rope and then a big rope. And I would like to take as much fire material as possible. The next rope is basically like up on that intermediate ridge, not the peak obviously, but we're going to go around this little path there and up onto there to get to the next rope. There's a cave back in that direction. You need to warm up. And over here is cargo container number 2, which one of them has tomato soup, is what I remember. I don't remember what the other one has. I've only got 2. I only warmed up 2 teas, and we already drank both of them. So we're just going to get a little bit of cold here. That'll be all right. We'll be fine. Tomato soup? Yep. 3 of them. So that's a day's worth of food. And number 2, what you got? Scrap metal. Cloth, scrap metal. Cloth. All right. There's a wolf over there somewhere. I do not have a bow and arrow, and I don't have a flare gun. I also don't have a lit torch, and I don't have a flare. So I don't have a good way of dealing with wolves. If we do encounter one, and he aggroes on us, and he's in our way, I might have to light a torch just to scare him away with it. Which would use an additional match, but it's better than getting attacked. We might end up dropping these. I'm going to go and pick them up, though. Yeah, we just hit the sprain affliction risk, which means I'm encumbered now. And we're at like 75%. I'm trying my best not to sprint to preserve as much energy as possible for the second rope. If you want to go a bit slower, there is a cave back in that direction. There's actually 2 caves. There's a cave that'll take you to Bleak Inlet and another cave by the deer clearing, either of which you can warm up in and sleep the night if you want to. If you're worried about how much energy you have or how warm you are, or if there's like particularly bad weather you can't see, that kind of thing. But since the weather is relatively clear, I'm going to go for it. Once you get to this fallen tree, we should be able to walk up through the cleft in the rocks here. It is possible to go all the way around. Right now we're going counterclockwise around Timberwolf Mountain. And it is possible to keep going that way. You'll get to a waterfall, and then you'll get to an alternate rope, which will also take you up to the summit. That's a much longer way to go. And it doesn't have a instanced cave that you can sleep in without a fire. There's also a bear and a wolf in the way. So in general, this is a much better way to go. Could harvest those mushrooms, but I think we are... Yeah, we're going to have to drop some stuff already, so I'm not going to. Probably drop water, because we're going to have lots of time to make water once we're up there. I'm going to go up this way. The rope is like right over here. Around these rocks. I think I can go that way. But I'm certain I can go this way. That looks like you can climb under there. No, maybe not. Very small. Okay, we should be able to see the rope in just a second. There it is there. I was about to walk back down that way, which would be a big mistake, because that hill is too steep to walk back up. We would have to go all the way back around again. Our warming up has expired, and we're going to start working on our hypothermia risk, but immediately at the top of this rock wall is a cave we can go into to warm up, so I'm not too worried about that. 67. Okay. Okay, good. That'll do. Hopefully we have enough energy. We should be fine. It's not a very tall rock face, not a very long rope. The next rope we have to climb is really tall though, and so we're gonna need a full night's rest, and we're gonna need to rest halfway up the rock wall when we climb it. And that's one of the benefits of going this way around, is immediately after getting up here, we get a cave right there that we can sleep in. Few sticks. And here we go. We should also find some firewood in here, I think. Maybe some extra coal. We'll see. Okay, now we use the lantern we found. Go through the cave. And then we're basically going to stop at the other side and sleep until we're full of energy. The time of day at this point doesn't really matter, because once we get up there, we're going to make a fire that's going to last for like 2 days. We're going to be opening containers, and we're going to resync ourselves with a day-night cycle once we get up there. Right now, while we're climbing ropes, the most important thing is to have as much energy as possible before climbing any rope. Oh yeah, lots of coal. Okay, very nice. There's a dead guy. What you got, dead guy? Nothing. Firewood. Stones. Okay, one of these is a dead end. Let's check this one. This looks like a dead end. Yeah, okay. Got an extra piece of coal. And if we drop anything, going up the next rope, it's going to be water. And then after that, we'll have to see. That is a loop around that leads back where we came. To get up to the, to go through to the other side, we have to go underneath this little tunnel. Tunnel in a tunnel. And I think we're close to the end. It's too dark. It's the middle of the day. Oh no, we're not there yet. Yeah, we gotta, that's right, we gotta climb up these ramps. Then we'll be there. Extra firewood. Very good. Oh, okay, okay. Don't turn it off. Should see the end of the cave in just a minute. Another thing we could drop as well are the little stones I've picked up, because there's not gonna be any wolves from this point forward, nor any rabbits I would want to kill. Another dead end spot with a piece of coal. There it is. Okay, there's the end of the cave. So I want to sleep here because at this point we're going to have a big rope to climb, very tall rope, and I need as much energy as possible. We also want to finish warming up. And so we need to eat some food. Heaviest food I've got is the tomato soup, which also has a little bit of water value in it. We'll just get rid of all three of these. There's going to be more canned food up there anyway. Yep. Delicious. We need to get under 66. Alright. So, I've got 20 coal, 2 fir firewood, and 1 cedar firewood. We might end up dropping some sticks. One thing I could do, since we have some extra time in the day and I'm not tired, we could read this book. Yeah, let's do that. That'll help sync us up a little bit with the day-night cycle, and then we can eat more of our extra food. We have enough water. This should get us all the way to level 2 fire starting, which will make our fires last longer, which will be important for the fire we're going to make at the summit. And this is done. Now we can use that for a fire starting material. We got a perk. Oh, we didn't get all the way there. Never mind. Never mind. Let's see. Anything else I want to repair? Could repair these jeans. Alright. Okay, now we'll go to bed for real. For real, for real. Checking the bedroll, I've got 180 calories currently. And we need about 750. Then we'll drink water. We've almost drank all of our water, which is really nice for going up the rope, which means I won't have to drop any. We didn't spend any extra time making water that we would have had to leave behind anyway. Go to sleep. You woke up fully rested. And it's the middle of the night, but that doesn't matter. We are going anyway. Okay, so I need to pick up my bedroll. And I probably have extra, yeah, we've got extra cans. We can drop those. We need to get down to 66 pounds. If you wanted to, you could have eaten continuously on your way up here and had well fed to carry more firewood to the top. Personally, I don't think it's particularly worth it. We can drop a few of these torches. We only really need one. I can eat that, even though it doesn't weigh much. I have basically 0 water, which is going to disappear now. And I guess we're dropping sticks. I'll keep 1 for starting the next fire. We're going to find sticks up there. It doesn't really matter. And there we are, under 66 pounds. Fantastic. Let me just make sure I got the bedroll. I picked that up. Do we still have my... Yeah, I never dropped the sapling the second time. Alright. Here we go. Oh, the middle of an aurora. Nice. So up on this shelf, there's no wolves. So you don't have to worry about the wolves in the aurora. It is going to be cold, but we're full health. We're going to be at a fire nonstop for about a day and a half once we get up there. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. Here we go. So there's 2 ledges. I'm about to pass one. I'm going to skip that one because we're doing fine. But I think we're going to need to stop on the one on the left, right. Maybe we can just go straight up. All right. And we're getting tired as we go, so if I did stop on one of those ledges, my encumbrance would have dropped. No, it hasn't quite dropped yet. But if it had gone if I'd gotten much more tired, my carry capacity would have dropped a little bit, and I would have had to drop more stuff on the ledge, which is no fun. Pretty. We're at the summit. Hooray, we did it. We're here. So now that we're here, it is the middle of the night. There's a cave right over here to the left. The plane is straight forward. I'm going to go check the cave first, and if it's warm enough in the back, we'll sleep a few hours until the sun comes up. Otherwise, we'll go straight to the plane, if it's not warm enough in this cave to sleep without a fire. And now that we're up here, I think I will harvest some stuff like this old man's beard and any rose hips or mushrooms, because we are not going to be using any more ropes from this point on. Not even to go back down. Container. Polaroid. Alright. Another rope, which we don't need. A book, which I'm going to throw in a fire. Feels like 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so if you're using metric, that's very cold. That's like negative 13 or something. So using my bedroll is not going to be enough. And I would need a fire to sleep here without dying. So instead, we're going to go straight to the plane and start our fire right away. And we're just going to be sawing up containers all day anyway, so it's not like we're going to be sprinting around doing strenuous stuff. But I will try to pick up random stuff as we go. So there's some rose hips right here, which we'll grab. Okay, now that we don't need to be quite as finicky about what we carry. Pick up as many sticks as we see, and there's a few corpses to be looted. But I probably want to warm up first before we venture out and do too much stuff, so I'm just going to basically walk along the left side here, pick up what's nearby, and then later on, when I'm warmer, we'll explore the other side a little bit maybe. Stick. Stick. Some sticks up here. And a stick. And that's another stick. Okay, there it is. Plane crash. Dead guy. Nothing, of course. Okay, new location discovered. Tail section. This is like Christmas, basically. Get to open all the presents. So in here, like inside of a cave, regardless of how strong the wind is outside, your fire is never going to get blown out. So I put the fire sort of in the middle. Okay. 60 per... Oh, I got a book, don't I? Yeah, use that. There's no rifles on Interloper, so may as well use the book to increase our starting chance. This might even get us to level 2 for fire starting. There's a hacksaw on the right, I just noticed. Okay, we have an extra hacksaw. Did we get to level 2? Maybe not. Alright, let's get that warmth up. Let's dump the fir firewood on there. And let's dump the cedar. And we got 8 hours of fire already. Probably not going to sleep, so I'm not going to check my bedroll. Our hacksaw is at 60%. This one is at 100. Wow, okay. So we'll try to use this one first. There's the emergency stim. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, four containers. A little bit of reclaimed wood. You can also break up these boxes, obviously, if you need some extra fire supplies. Here's the very important flare gun. There we go. If you break this box, I was going to say it's got accelerant in it, but no, they're just sitting out in the open. I was wrong. And 2 boxes of matches. That's very good. And then back here should be a... There's spray paint, but there should be a fire striker. Here it is. 50%. Not great, but better than nothing. Let's go warm up. And let's make some water. Okay, let's drop... I'm just going to put these on the ground because they're kind of heavy. Just to lighten the load a bit. I've been climbing ropes. I've been hiking in the wilderness through the snow. Want to be a little bit less encumbered for a second. That's making water. All we've got left are crackers, which I would like to save for emergencies, and cattails. So let's get some new food. One thing to note is that every time we open something, this is going to lose 5%. And you want to be careful as it gets very low. There's a chance for it to break. And if it breaks while you're opening a container, that container will be bricked. You will no longer be able to open it. Hey, there we go. Trail boots. Those are pretty decent. So once it gets down to about 25%, I would just stop using it altogether while you're up here. Or repair it if you have that option. Hey, ear wraps. This is one of the things you want to come up here for. Something that you cannot craft, which is very rare. And we just found one. Here we go, a little bit warmer. What else I find? Extra mitts. Extra wool socks. Okay, these are actually technically a little bit worse, but I'm going to use them anyway. And let's go over here. And let's drop some of this extra stuff. And we'll sort through it later. Oh, that's right, I found a wool took. There we go. We're going to repair that too, because it's going to be better. Extra wool socks. Okay, that is container number 1. Sodas. Hooray! Peaches! Food! Alright. Alright, I'm going to drop those away from the fire so they don't open on me automatically. Because they will burn if we don't keep an eye on them. So we've opened 4 now, so we should be down to 41%. 41%. There's a box. Don't care about that. 8 hours left on the fire. This will take us to 31, and the one over there will take us to 21, and then we'll just leave this hacksaw behind and take the 100%er with us as we go. Crackers. Awesome. Best food in the game. Herbal tea, very useful. Coffee, very useful. Alright, now we're at 31%. Last one. One of these has medicine, I think, and the other one's got animal hides. So maybe we'll get some cured leather to fix up our boots. That's the medicine one. Yep. Alright, lovely. Okay, just to sort through things a little bit, I'm going to put this stuff on the ground. And I guess those saplings as well, and the the scrap metal. There we go. There's my food. We got lots of crackers, which I am not dropping. We're at 57 pounds at the moment, which is pretty light, but we got to pick this stuff back up. And all of that took us less than an hour. I think that's all of them. Let's just double check. And our hacksaw should be at 21%, which means it is officially retired. And now this is going to be our hacksaw. 100%. Okay, empty, 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 empty. Just to double check. Empty, empty. Those are just boxes. That's a box. Empty, empty. Okay, worth pointing out, we're going to do this... Oh, never mind. I fell right now. Okay, so if you fall down here accidentally, this is... I'm going to illustrate what to do. This guy's got maple syrup, which is a lot of calories, but it's also real heavy. If you fall down here by accident, and you need to get back up to the plane, you're not ready to go down the mountain, you kind of go underneath the edge here, and then try to get up onto this ridge, and then walk back around. Alright, so we got some sticks. We searched a dead body, which had nothing. And I got some mushrooms, a little bit of rose hips. We still have 20 minutes until that's boiled. We've collected everything. I guess we can pick these back up because we're not really going anywhere. And I will be going to sleep, so I'll place the bedroll flat. Well, I decided to stay an extra day to wait for daylight so we could see what we were doing for the video as we descended the mountain. And of course, there's been a blizzard. Here's my items that I have so far as we leave the summit. We got all this stuff, and we got all that stuff. The clothing situation has improved by a lot, and I've got a lot of food. I still have the maple syrup, a lot of coffee, 1 soda left, gallon of water, which we might leave a little bit behind. We picked up the flare gun. I made some extra torches, and we have all this stuff. Okay, let's make a few teas, and then let's get out of here. I don't have enough fire supplies to last another day without using all my coal up, which I don't want to do. I did break most of the boxes to be able to stay the extra night. So if you need to stay here a couple days, it's not really that big of a deal. And while those are cooking, let's drop some of these to get warmed up. I guess rose hips takes longer to warm up. I don't know what that discrepancy is about. Oh, that reset to 14. Okay. That's weird. These are almost done. 40 to burned, 30 to burned. Pick up a sleeping bag. Did the storm die? We might get some visibility. 4 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay. How much water do I have now? A gallon? We're at 83 pounds. That's not so bad. That's really not so bad for leaving this place. I would weigh more, I guess, if I had left immediately. Because I wouldn't have eaten so much of the food. I also wouldn't have repaired so much of my clothing. So I've got basically no cloth left. And I broke down a lot of the extra clothing and stuff. This is the stuff we're leaving behind. There's a rope over there, which I don't have a use for. Hot. All right, let's get out of here. Pick that up. Pick that up. Pick it up. Pick it up. And you may notice that my water bar is mostly empty. That's because we are about to drink a bunch of teas. Let's get a torch. And hopefully it won't get blown out. So, oh good. We have a little bit of visibility. So you can see there's Crystal Lake with the little dock and the hut just barely visible right down there. So if you want, you could go straight to those, but we have one more container to loot. And so we are going to sort of bend around the edge of the mountain to try to hook up with the cave, which will connect us down into Echo Ravine. So instead of going straight down the mountain, got stuck on something, we're going to go around this edge a little bit. And we're going to jump off the mountain from over here. Think it'll let us from right through here. It's not very cold. Let's go ahead and drink one of these teas. Since I'm a bit thirsty. Alright. Here we go. This also gives you 5% of your health back, which we don't really need. But birch bark respawns periodically in areas with birch trees, so I don't mind drinking it. There's the lake. We want to go over to sort of the other corner. And we want to be careful going down this. We're probably going to get some sprains, so we'll just end up using some of our bandages, which is no big deal. And we want to be careful not to go to an area that's so steep that we're just going to fall straight down. The one way you can tell is by placing a campfire. As long as this campfire hugs the surface, we can hug the surface. If this campfire no longer hugs the surface, we're going to fall off. And I'll try to make a point of showing that. That engine is close to the cave we want. No spraying so far, that's pretty good. Okay, you see right there, that slope over there where the campfire is facing straight up and down? We can't climb that. That we can climb. This we can climb. But not that. I'm going to try to get over to this ledge and see what's around this corner. Then we need to light another torch while I'm on this ledge. This is a little bit risky going around this side. And if you're a little bit worried about routing in this manner, if you just go down a little bit farther in that direction, it's much more gradual and much more safe. I am doing a little bit of exploring right here to see if this is doable. It looks like this is going to be doable. We might fall a little bit, but this is for a video, so I'm not terribly concerned if this character gets murdered, more or less. I would like to end up here. We'll do our campfire trick, so you can see I can hug on all these ledges are fine. There's a sprain, no big deal. One advantage of staying on the rocks like this is no wolf is going to be able to get to you, so that can be very useful. Oh, it fell. Okay. All right, we'll just start descending because we're taking too much damage. But all those red things that just popped up, I'm going to show you basically that they're not that big of a deal. You can see my health didn't decline that much. And our clothing might have gotten a little bit ripped. But we don't have any super endgame clothing that won't be easily repaired with a little bit of cloth at this point. The cave we want is like right around this corner. So now I'm just looking for a way down without taking too big of a fall. And we're down. And the torch still lit. Okay, there's a rabbit there, which means a wolf is not too terribly close to me. Otherwise, he'd be going after the rabbit. I did get 2 ankles and 1 wrist sprain. Alright, I don't care. Let's go. No big deal. It obscures my vision a little bit. We're going to walk around this corner and go into a cave, so it's not that big a deal. Because we can just sleep it off in this cave once we're done looting the other container. Or if you want, you can use bandages and pain pills, which I might do for the video just to clear up the visibility. But if this was a survival character where I was trying to conserve resources as much as possible, I probably would not bother with any medicine. I would just sleep in the cave for a few hours to get rid of the sprains. So, since we're making this for a video, let's go ahead and fix our sprains. And if you had gone down a little bit in a safer manner, or if I had scouted that a little bit better, or been a bit more careful, we probably wouldn't have ended up with all these sprains, but we might have got 1 or 2. So we'll do all those to get rid of the sprains, and then to get rid of the pain vision, We'll eat the pain pills here, which you have to do for each individual sprain, which doesn't make much sense, but that's the way it works. Alright. So, all better. So now we are in a cave. We're going to be coming back up here. So what I will do is drop a few things. Our torch might get blown out, so I don't want to drop that. We need the hacksaw. We can drop this and that, that, and that. I need the hammer in case we get attacked. We can drop some of our coal. Most of the coal can get left here. Anything else easy to drop? I'm wearing all of that. We can drop the syrup, which is heavy. Yeah, oh yeah, we can drop this stuff. Okay, now we're down to 56 pounds. It's much better. And then just down this hill is the final cargo container, which usually has clothing. So I'm hoping for a thin wool sweater and a long underwear. I have not been through there's the wolf, okay. I have not been through the plane crash area yet, so that usually has a pretty good amount of clothing. And that would probably be the next place I go with this character, on my way to Mystery Lake to eventually forge at the Forlorn Muskeg Forge. Alright, let's see if we can just avoid his noticing us. Let's make a fresh torch. Whoa! I don't think I ever loaded my flare gun. Oh my god, that scared me. Okay. Thankfully, I dropped the torch fast enough that he got scared. Now he's over there. Okay, we should be alright. Oh my god. Okay, drop that. Thank you. So it's on the ground. He can't come close to it if it's on the ground like that. Oh boy. What do we got? Jeans, socks, shoes, socks, socks. Damn it. Thin wool sweater, please. Please give me a thin wool sweater. Please. I don't know if this one even has close. Oh, it does! Hey, we got it. Thin wool sweater. These are actually really hard to come by. Okay, so, that wolf is why I like to come down from this direction so you can see where he is ahead of time. If he had been that close and I didn't have a fire option, I might have just come back for this later. If you come down from the other side, he's going to be in between you and the container, which makes it a little bit harder to negotiate. If you're coming to Timberwolf Mountain after already forging and you have a bow and arrow already, that's a little bit different, obviously, because then you can shoot him if you want. But we haven't done that yet, so I come down this way. And I also don't think it's worth using a flare gun shell on that wolf, so there we go. But we did get what I was looking for, the second thin wool sweater. We're still missing second long johns, and I guess that's it for... Oh, no, we need combat pants. We need combat pants. We can get those in Ash Canyon. But as far as cargo containers and looting Timberwolf Mountain, we are now finished, and the last thing to do, really, is to grab the stuff we left in the cave and go back to the mountaineering hut on Crystal Lake. Alright, well, I made it through the cave. I picked up the stuff I dropped. I dropped some stuff I don't want to take with me, which was basically all the extra loose clothing that is, we've already upgraded past, and I don't want to carry because we're going to have sources of cloth that are easier than harvesting those, and they'll be in that cave on the ground forever if this character ever comes back and happens to stumble upon them, so it's not like I deleted them or anything. But basically, at this point, we are just walking downhill until we get all the way back to the lake, avoiding any wolves and or bears. And here we are. We made it back safe and sound. Our torch is still lit, so we can immediately start a fire to make some water. Now that we're back and we're done with our mountain adventure, start the fire. And we'll look through the things. We'll look through our journal, see where we've been and what we've accumulated. And that will be that. And then I want to douse this torch, because this is the one I found in the cave, and it was 100%, and I've already burnt it down to 50. Dang. Oh well. Okay, put some of that, and some of that. Put that there, put that there. Make water. And you also make water. Okay. So, this is what we have at the end of our Timberwolf Mountain Summit adventure. Got some accelerant. I have more coal than we started with, so that's good. Additional skill book. A lot of matches. Very nice. Fire strikers as well. We got some medicine, some tea stuff, bandages, an additional stim we found up there. The clothing situation has improved a lot. The only thing we're really missing is a second thermal underwear. And the rest of our clothing will be crafted from animal hides. We've got some syrup, a whole bunch of crackers, a lot of coffee, a lot of herbal tea. Picked up a decent amount of cat stalks there. We have a little bit of water left over, 1 soda, and 2 syrups. And if you want, you could be a little bit more finicky in not eating all that stuff and preserving more of it to bring back. But I wasn't too concerned because we're just making this character for this video. We got all this stuff. We got the flare gun. Hooray. We've got some flare shells for sticky situations in case a bear decides to try to eat us. And then we also found, I guess we can drop this on the ground. And for now, I'm just going to drop this on the ground as well. Got a few pieces of scrap metal. Spread these out a little bit so you can see the saplings under there. There's some firewood left for us here. I'm going to leave a little bit of this coal. Not that much. Now we're down to about 70 pounds. I might leave some more stuff behind. But most of this we'll be taking with us. We click the journal screen. We're on day 7. If you don't manage to get to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain and back within 7 days, don't worry too much. The important thing to remember is to try to get to the summit as fast as possible, because the items in those containers are degrading in condition. When they hit 0%, they disappear forever. So as long as you get to the summit before day 30 or so, you should be all right to find a pretty good amount of stuff that will be useful. And the flare gun and the striker and the stim are always going to be there, because they're sitting out in the open. They're not going to degrade like the clothing will. Skills are all still level 1. Notes, whatever. Haven't made any additional notes. We've survived 6 days so far. Hooray. That's it. That's the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. And I guess I'll see you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Nice view. Oh yeah, right there. There we go.